Well, good morning, everyone. This is Mitchellmander here, and welcome to the very first My Hero Academia impression video on this channel. I've been a fan of this show for a long time, and I've decided to cover it along with the new season that is airing. And I gotta say, this episode, while it was pretty much just a filler episode, a clip show filler episode, I felt like this was actually much better done, and I like this. I enjoyed this episode a lot more than the first episode from season 3. So the premise here is that there's a news agency that's trying to figure out some ideas for a juicy news story, and they're looking at All Might's retirement and kind of trying to come up with a story behind that, and looking at, after he battled All For One, and when he said "you're next," they were trying to figure out what that meant. That's when one of the journalists that were with them, Takada, he deduces that All Might was referring to who would actually be the next symbol of peace. And as he's putting the pieces together, he determines that All Might has already chosen a successor. And since All Might has been teaching at UA, and since his partnership with Night Eye has ended, he suspects it's not someone from the Big Three, but someone from Class 1A. So he decides to go take a visit, and he gets permission to go and get some information from the students. And Aizawa was a little suspicious, but anyways, I gotta say, I've definitely missed these characters. It's been a year since season 3 has ended, and it's refreshing to see these kids again. And just seeing kind of just all their different characteristics. It's just nice to see again. Now, the Takada eventually deduces that Midoriya is indeed All Might's successor. And right before this, there's a nice little scene where All Might's bringing meat buns to Deku, or Midoriya, which he got from a store for free, and a free umbrella as well, because the guy was a big fan of him, and that he helped him in the past, so he gave him free stuff, so that was nice, a little nice funny scene. Now, Takada goes, and he notices this, and he goes out to talk to Deku, and he tells Deku that he actually realized that he's indeed All Might's successor. He basically put all the pieces together. Deku's not really able to say anything, but he can't lie at the same time. And he recalls certain instances, like the instance from episode 1 when Deku tried to save Bakugo from him enrolling as a student. At the same time, All Might started as a teacher to saving Kodo from Muscular. He's able to basically determine that Deku is indeed All Might's successor. And he actually tells him an actual really interesting story, where he actually says that All Might saved his father many years ago. Now, this is a scene from... I know this is a clip that Deku would always watch on TV, where All Might was saving people from this big fire. And it was nice to see, kind of, give him some more context to this scene, and it was interesting to see that this reporter's father was actually among the people that were victims in this fire. And it was nice. It was definitely a nice moment. You gotta say, really nice tie-in there. And that's when the reporter reveals that he actually has a quirk that pretty much allows him to take pictures from a random camera lens that come out of any part of his body, and then he prints off the picture from his chest instantly, which is an interesting quirk for sure. I guess his news agency probably can save some paper money this way, and some ink. That's kind of a little useful. But he then takes a picture with Deku and says that one day when he writes about the next symbol piece, he can use this as a picture in that writing piece to say that or that a news article or book, or even that the symbol piece, this is the next symbol piece when he was in his youth. And that led to a funny moment where Ochako was eavesdropping on the whole thing and noticed this and got super frustrated and jealous over it. Oh man, I gotta love the little moments like that. So then Deku shares his meat buns with Ochako and the rest of his fellow students, and the reporter goes back, news agency, or the news company, to basically say that he wasn't able to find All Might's successor, but then he uses a picture that All Might with a meat bun as a story. So yeah, it was a nice little fillerish episode and a nice intro episode to the new season. I have to say, for what it was worth and for what we got in it, it's a good solid 9 out of 10. I know maybe giving a little bit too much credit, but I actually liked what they did, especially with the journalist and Takada and his background, and how All Might saved his father, and kind of how that scene ties into that scene that we've seen in Deku has been watching all these years. Just kind of gives a little bit more context to it, and a little bit nice to see that. And hopefully maybe when the series comes to an end, the anime staff remembers this and remembers to include it towards the end. Maybe even Horikoshi could incorporate it into the manga. Who knows? It's a pretty solid, it's a nice moment, and it'd be nice to see that happen. Maybe get adapted in the manga. You never know. So anyways, I enjoyed this episode, but next week starts the actual canon material. So guys, what'd you think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Tell me what your favorite things from this episode were in the comment section down below, and be sure to like and subscribe, as I will be covering the My Hero Academia Season 4 going forward. So yeah, I will talk to you all later. So have a great day, everyone.